my name's Kathy Bartle, and we now live in the very last house before the North Sea. We're told by the council that we are 37 metres from the edge, and that when we're 11 metres from the edge, they have a duty to demolish the property. So it's a toss-up whether we both die first or we have to move in our old age, which is not a prospect I relish. In fact, if it ever happens, there's going to be a lot of trouble because I'm not moving. And I've told the council that, but then again, I have got a lot of health problems. My husband's a lot older than me, so it might never arise. It's in God's hands.
Let's go back and you tell me how you came to be here at all. Going all the way back to when you used to come here for your weekends.
Yeah, right. Well, it all started when our daughter got married. And I was a bit miserable about it. We used to go to town every Saturday afternoon, shopping and everything, and then it all stopped. And we came just out for a day, one Sunday, from where we lived in Sheffield. And Alan had seen in one of the daily papers, I don't know which one, there was a caravan site at Burton Constable Hall, which we knew well, having been visiting several times, like from Sheffield. And lo and behold, we ended up buying a caravan. So that took my mind off what I was going to do at weekends without the daughter, because we came over here. And then at the time, it was closed completely for 4 months of the year. Electricity off, water off, nothing, you know. And we really wanted somewhere where we could visit every weekend throughout the year. So I think we had the caravan about 4 years. And then one afternoon we were there, just having a run out, and we came to Aldeburgh. And this one was actually for sale. So we arranged to come in and see it and had a look round, and got onto the solicitors and did all the usual stuff and ended up buying it.
Do you mind me asking how much it cost you?
Just under £16,000. And what year would, oh dear, I can't remember when she got married. It must be, I came over here permanently in 1987, I think. So it'd be 3 or 4 years before then. Yeah. And obviously you couldn't get a mortgage on it, you see. We didn't even try, because fortunately we had the cash, but we wouldn't have got one anyway, because at the time all the houses down here used to say on the rate demand temporary residence. They weren't classed as full-time homes, but nothing's ever been said all the time we've been here. And then of course it went to the council tax, poll tax it was, wasn't it? Excuse me. And it's never been mentioned since, that the temporary. So we came here, and then I think we had it 3 or 4 years, and we came every weekend. I worked in Sheffield, so we had to go back Sunday night, and my husband worked, of course. And then it was a semi-detached in Sheffield, and unfortunately we got the most awful neighbours imaginable. So during the week I often used to come across and stay here, and then ring the office up and say, sorry, I'm not coming in for the next couple of days. But I'd been there a long time and I got away with it. Nice boss and all that. But I knew it couldn't go on indefinitely. So in the end, I came over one weekend here, found an exact same job in Hull that I got in Sheffield, as a probate executive, got the same job here, and gave me notice in, and I came to live here. Left my husband in Sheffield, and he took early retirement though, so I was only here 3 years, and he never missed a weekend in all that time. And then he sold up in Sheffield and came to join me, and that's how we're here.
So what was it like when you first came here? What was here that isn't here now?
Vastly different. Yeah. When we first came, the road was obviously much longer, and I can't honestly remember how many more houses there were, but quite a few. And then at the end, but not right close to the end obviously, there was a cafe, and amusement place, a big car park and a toilet block. And there were still houses at that time. They were just left when they fell into close, and there was just houses teetering on the edge of the road, and subsequently they fell in, and that was it. And I'm told that not long before we came, there was another pub and a Coast Guard's property and a shop. That wasn't in our time. Well, we were here a good few years before anything happened, because we were quite a long way off, and occasionally you could hear a thud, and it was part of the cliff. But when we first came, we couldn't even hear or see the sea from here. We couldn't see it, because it does drop down, of course, but we couldn't see it at all. And we just heard the odd thud, and another bit of cliff's gone. But nothing happened at all for years.
And how did you get down to the beach from here then?
Well, we didn't, because it's very steep and it's unsafe. But we get an awful lot of fishermen, and always have done. And every time they come, they dig steps out, and they scramble down as best they can. And actually, somebody's dug some out now and actually put some stone slabs on. I've got bad legs, so I've never been down. I don't think I've been down on the beach here all the time we've been here. No, plenty of people do, and they always ask me, how can we get down? And I do tell them, at your own risk, and because it's loose, you see, so strictly speaking, nobody should go down, but nobody takes any notice.
So when you first started coming here, what sort of things did you do when you came here?
Well, we were a lot younger then. We both had bikes, so we used to go biking here, there and everywhere, but it was handy for Whitby, which we love, because it's Bridlington, Scarborough, Whitby. So don't forget, I was still working though. I worked for 3 years after my husband come, so we couldn't do anything during the week, so I was at the office. And actually, when I was working, most of the weekends we ended up with cleaning up when I was out all week. But yeah, just rounding about. Literally, we've been all around the area, even over into Lincolnshire. But we did know this area before we came here, because we often used to bring the daughter to Hodsey when she was small, and Bridlington and Scarborough, so it wasn't a completely new area to us, you see. Yeah, so basically that's it, just going out in the car or biking. Since the last house went, we knew we'd feel the wind more, but we were hoping it would sort of be next year, but we've had a bad winter, haven't we? Hence new fences and the new gates, because part of the fence we were totally unable to get to it for next door's property, and when it moved and we moved our shed, it was actually falling apart, so we thought, what the hell, and had it all new all the way around, not at the front but just at the back. So we really did suffer with the wind, but fortunately not a thing on the house.
So it's pretty sound then.
But the garden and everything else, really, we did have some greenhouses, we had all greenhouses and everything, and they just, well, they were gone too far to repair. We just had them pulled down and some decking put down instead. So we did, but as I say, thank the Lord, the house was okay.
So what would you like to happen?
What I'd really like to happen is what I've been fighting for 27 years now, is coastal protection. Because Mappleton, have you been to Mappleton, the next village up? You'll see that's all been done. That. The reason for that is because it's a main bus route, and it was cheaper to do the coastal protection than reroute the road. You see, that's why they've got it, not the properties, it's to save rerouting the road. And all the experts say that since it was done, it is not coming in any quicker here. But as for one who lives here, and they all agree with me, it is coming in much quicker since it did Mappleton.
So how does that make you feel as a community? What?
Well, I think now I'm, bar one, actually the longest resident down here, certainly from the farm track and across the road. And it makes me angry, very angry. But to be fair, when we bought it, my solicitor checked with the local council, which wasn't this one, it was Holderness Borough Council then. We did check, and we were told we had 40 to 60 years before the house would have to be demolished. Well, we worked it out and we thought we should be well gone in that time. But of course now we've got about 6 to 8 left. So it's debatable whether we'll still be here or not. Yeah. But then, all the time we've been here, on and off, it's been going on and off all the time. And then there were several houses beyond the one that stood. There were several houses down. And then they went round the corner and they were on the front. And this is only a couple of years ago.
I'm interested because obviously there's the cliff area, and then there's the village. How do the two sort of communities relate? Is there any sort of...
Actually, I've had no trouble myself, none at all. But I know there's a lady up the road who thinks that the villagers don't like us down here. She has mentioned, as soon as you say where you live, what street you live in, it's not... I think I might have come across it just occasionally. Nobody's ever said anything. Oh, actually, I can tell you one thing from personal experience. When I was still working in the solicitor's office, we had a client in the village in a huge big posh house who knew my boss, and her mother died, and she came obviously to my office, my firm, for us to wind the estate up, and of course Stephen passed it on to me. And we were getting on great. Every time she came in, we'd have a chat with all sorts of things. And then one day, because she lived in this big house at the top of the village, and then one day she asked me whereabouts I lived. And when I said Seaside Road, I never saw her again. She always saw Stephen, the solicitor, instead. Read into that what you like. Yeah. It's
just interesting though, isn't it?
Yeah.
There are two distinct halves of the village, it seems to be.
Well, that's the impression I get. But like I say, I don't go into the village much, but I go to the local chapel every Sunday, and they're all fine with me. No problem at all. But it's just the odd one. I mean, even me, I told you when I first came down this street, what I said.
Say that again for me, because you didn't say it on camera.
We came from the caravan one day to have a look down, and as he was turning down past the church and we started to come down here, I turned to my husband and I said, "My God, what sort of people live in houses like this?" Yeah, I shouldn't have said that, it was very rude, but at the time it was just between me and my husband. Yeah. I've never said it to anybody else, you're the first one I've said. Because I'm not friendly with any of them, but I know I'm all to talk to. Yeah, most of them anyway. And they're all alright. I think there's one or two that's a bit,
And do you have much to do with the caravan park?
No, I hate it.
Is it a matter of they just don't mix with everybody else?
I don't know. You see, we don't go into the pub. We're teetotalers, so we don't go into the pub where I think a lot of them go. No, there was a caravan site here when we first came. It belonged to the local East Riding Council. Every year they put wooden steps down. I have been down on the wooden steps when they were there. And there was a little brick built shop, which was handy for us as well as, and it was just a small site. And then they sold it. I don't like living at the side of a huge caravan site, no. But it's no trouble now, but when they were making it, it was absolute hell, literally. In one day, I counted 58, 10-ton wagons or lorries going up and down the road. It was hell when they were doing it.
Was that bringing caravans and things?
Yeah, and building the bases and whatever else is on there, toilets, shops and everything that's on, yeah. It really was horrendous down here, yeah. And then when it was finished, they sort of quietened down and it's just a caravan site. Don't know anybody on it, and not on it. My husband sort of walks the dog. Sometimes he comes back through it. And he used to pass one caravan and this chap used to come out because it upset their dog and our dog were barking. And this chap once came out and he was filthy language at Alan and not to come past my caravan anymore. So he doesn't. Yeah, but I don't know who lives on it, what sort of people they are or what, I don't know. Any other caravan site there, I suppose, isn't it?
I guess, there's a lot along this coast, aren't there?
Oh, it's all caravans, isn't it? Right up as far as, Caton Bay, beyond Bridlington, it's all caravans, and that way. with and see.
I guess the
them.
advantage is now they can move them back, can't they? If they need to.
Well, they can here, yeah. There's one on the very edge now, and it's been there ages and ages. I don't know whether there's anybody in it or not.
Well, I just had a walk. There's a van outside it today, so whether they're doing some work ready to move it or something, I don't know.
But certainly some have already been moved back. Yeah, they've had to be.
So, what do you see the future of this place?
There isn't one, is there? I mean, the caravan's all right. They'll keep moving them back, and it's a big site. There's plenty of room to go at, and he's got this one at this side as well. For us, there's no future. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen when it gets to the pub. Everybody's got a different story, but and universities always sending geologists down, and council send them and they dig boreholes and everything. And one story I heard was that by the time it got to the pub, the structure of the soil and everything would have changed. That's one person's opinion or whatever. I mean, we've just had the waterboard, as I said this morning, and they had to dig down, and it is actually solid clay. If you notice, with no flowers in that garden, nothing grows. The window, the saltaire, there's only roses that'll grow in the other one, yeah. We used to have until we got so near, and they dug it up, and it literally thick, solid, yellow clay it is. Yeah. So when we go, next one's ours. Certainly by the time it goes, the old chap, next but one, I think he'll have gone. And the woman behind him, she's nearly 90, she'll have gone. And it'll be a long time before it gets beyond that. Yeah. But no, they've no intention of doing anything at all. Not at all, yeah. We're not worth it.
It does seem, the impression I'm getting is that some places like Hornsey and Withensea have been protected, and as you say, Mappleton's got its bits, but
yeah.
it seems like this is going to be managed.
Well, we haven't got anything for holiday makers, have we? Though you'd be surprised. You come down here on a Sunday, and last Sunday, or one before, there were 30 cars out here, just from the pub down. Yeah, coming and going. Personally, I'm at a loss as to see why. I really am, because there's nothing. There's no toilets, no ice cream vans, and they come with the kids and they shovel and buckets, and I don't know why.
Do you think part of it is the curiosity of seeing the road suddenly end and all the collapse and sort of a bit of a morbid curiosity of seeing that? Maybe.
A lot of people do. Not when they come in with the kids and everything, but yeah, I often go out, or people stop me when I'm in the garden. And yeah, one or two do just come for that reason. Just come down and just get out the car, look over the edge and get back again. But we get loads of, like I said, visitors. So I don't know, we just haven't got a future here. That's it. As I say, there's a good likelihood we shan't be here when it happens. It's 50-50 either way, which, take it from me, is a horrible position to be in. It's terrible. You don't want to lose your home. You don't want to die. Which comes first? Yeah.